What's up, guys? Round Jedi Patrol back. Another video today. We're going to unbox something that's been here for several weeks, and I just haven't had time. And it's time to add the final member to the Bad Batch, minus Omega, which eventually maybe some, I don't freaking know. But Tech is here. We're going to open him up. We're going to unbox him. We're going to pose him up with his brothers. Should be super fun. And let's see, finally we have a completed squad in the collection. So thanks, Pop Collectibles, for getting this to me several weeks ago. And now it's time to unbox it. So TMS-098, let's go ahead and check this guy out. We got a photo of the figure on the front. Got the head sculpt right here, which is interesting. We'll take a look at that in a second. We got a photo of the guy on the side. There's Tech. And on the back is Star Wars stuff, man. Let's just get into this thing. And open this bad boy up. We got the inserts, Clone Force 99. We got Wrecker back there, Hunter. And where's the rest of? I guess they just put him in the photo as a B1 battle droid back there. Let's go ahead. Check that. Not bad, not bad. Of course, we'll never ever see this again. So, take a screenshot if you like. All right, what do we got? We got some accessories here. I feel like I'm gonna need a knife to deal with this plastic stuff. So we'll get that out of the way. What's first? There's all those little tools and gadgets and whatever. We'll get to that later. And then we have figure, a helmet, a backpack, a bunch of hands, some weapons. Let me get all this stuff out of here. All right, so we got a lot of stuff out of here, and we'll take a look at accessories. We'll get into the figure. We got some parts to add to the figure. We got all kinds of stuff. Let's start off with the simplest stuff, which is going to be the base, typical Bad Batch. We've seen this before. Crotch grabber. And you can use this or not use this, and I don't really have a preference. I can't even remember if I have this on the other ones or not. But it does say Tech, and we've got this nice little, let's see here. Oh, that's nice. A Tech right there. Cool. Typical. Nothing really fancy about that. The backpack is awesome. As always, you saw the other Bad Batch members. They all got backpacks, and they all look pretty freaking awesome. This is nice. It matches his light gray suit and armor. We'll look at that in just a little bit, but nice wash over this whole thing. You can see, especially back down here, you see how dirty this thing's got. A light gray. There's this wash that's over everything. I don't know if it's the same wash on every single version. This looks like a hand-painted wash, so maybe it is. I don't know. It looks like they did a fine job with it. Magnets on the back. Very nicely done. I don't think it opens. Yeah, doesn't really open. So that's kind of like Hunter's open. You can store his extra hands or droid poppers, whatever inside, but you can't do that. But you do have two antenna you've got to add. These are both metal antenna. So there's one that goes right here. You really can't mess it up. There's two keys. There's a three-quarter circle here, half circle here. And so it's going to be kind of hard to mess this up. Unless if you just really try very hard, I suppose you could do that. And there you go. Two antenna. One there. Obviously, if this falls over, that's going to be a breakage point. But it is metal. Maybe a little bit more durable than other ones. There's some other tiny bits and pieces that I'm a little afraid of. As you can probably imagine. But honestly, this is a pretty good looking backpack. Not too terribly heavy, so hopefully it won't give me a posing problem with gravity fighting against me. But yeah, not bad. Couple of droid poppers. Nothing really to say about these other than I have a lot of them. We got some pistol blasters. We've seen these before. Same paint job as the other ones. Really nothing to write home about that. But if you haven't seen these before, here they are. And historically, a big pain in the butt to put in the hands of the figures, because they make the grips too wide for the hands. So hopefully it's probably going to be the same case this time, but we'll see. And because you get two blasters, you get one holster that's not attached to the figure. You actually have to attach it to the figure. It's plastic. I mean, it's nicely painted and detailed and textured and everything, but you don't actually, yeah, there's that. While we're talking about it, let me just go show you where this thing goes. The instructions say, I get this arm out of the way. There is a hole right there, and we're just supposed to attach this guy in here, and that's where it goes. So, yeah, these three holes here are for the tools, which are sitting right here. We'll start with this first one. It's kind of like a little grabber claw thing. It looks like a hinge. It doesn't hinge, so don't worry about that. In order to put it on a figure, you do have to kind of be very careful and disconnect it ever so slightly. Like twisting it, probably the easiest way to do it. You have to disconnect that because it's got to go in that belt pouch we saw earlier. There's that one. So that one goes there. Then you've got this other one, which is kind of like a torch, I'm guessing, or a hammer. I don't know what the heck it's supposed to be. But it also comes apart in just a slight twist. should, without any breakages. Maybe. You're going to come off. Oh, there it goes. It's so tiny. I don't really want to mess that up, but nicely painted. Not bad. And then you've got this guy, which I don't know what the hell this is. But it also comes apart, but at the back end here, so you want to be super careful with that. But I'll show you where these go. Per the instructions on his left thigh, you've got this little pouch. 1, 2, 3, that's where they're going to go in. We've also got this guy, which you have to attach to a different side of the figure, but it's just take this section that looks like a more glassy light top, and this is the side that comes off. Unscrew that. Simple, painted gray, really nothing flashy about that. Now, with all those bits on there, you really can't add this on top of it because it doesn't really want to cooperate. And you certainly don't want to be bending this. And I don't think I'm going to leave these tools on him for the simple reason, as you guys can see this, I like posing my figures, and 100% I will break that. I mean, there's just no way around it. I'll forget it was there. I'm going to grab it. I'm going to snap it. No question about it. I will absolutely do that. So most likely I will rock this guy because I'm less worried about breaking this than this, but be very careful. And then the other guy goes right here on this other pouch, and it just slides right in there, that slot there. So very easy to do, not difficult, just very, very small and finicky, and just one of those things that if it's going to break, it will. And, you know, I don't want any bad luck on. Moving on to the hands, we got a couple of blaster holding hands, nicely done. Again, the light gray with the wash, the red, and then you've got this teal, which is supposed to look like some kind of button or light, which is nicely done. But you get a pair of those. You get a pair of tool holding hands, I'm going to assume. It's accessory, and that looks pretty cool. Get one right and left, the version of that. And you get a gesturing hand for the left. And then on the figure itself, you get a couple of just open hands, right and left versions of that. So yeah, again, the right version has the little teal section and the left one doesn't, so you really can't mess those up. Here's a little data pad. I dig this very much, actually. It's got a little D-ring on the back. That's actually nicely done. Got some red, almost some yellow, a little light up. Well, I say light up. It looks like it's lit up, but it doesn't. And I mean, it's just nicely done. It's a cool little accessory. I could definitely see me using this. This one, I don't feel like it's going to break, really. So at the moment, I don't really see a reason for this D-ring being here, because I just checked the instructions to see does it attach to the figure in any way, and the instructions don't say so. So I'm not 100% sure, but maybe we'll figure that out later in the video. The goggles look pretty sweet. I will definitely be rocking these some form or fashion. They're definitely, I'm going to heat these up before I throw these on the figure, because right now it's cold and they're a little bit stiff, but they're nicely done. Nice little yellow, nice little red light thing going on right there. Kind of dig that. But yeah, I'm definitely going to heat these up a little bit before I put them on the figure. However, that does bring us to one of the coolest parts of tech, which is his helmet. And it is awesome. Look at the paint application on here. We got this little Clone Force 99 symbol going on here. These visors that goes up and down. It's got this like grid pattern in there. I dig that very much. The red, the grays. I mean, it's just cool. We got these antenna, which are gonna, I mean, just be careful with these guys. There's a small one here in the front and the back, large one in the back, same on the other side. And this is just a beautiful, beautiful helmet. I mean, the Bad Batch all had cool helmets. So, you know, let's say that. But this is just cool. Now, the way we've got to take this thing apart and put it on the figure, I'm not a big fan of that. But eventually we're going to have to make that happen. So the way you would do that is these little, we'll call them earmuffs, these pieces right here. There are two pegs. There's a peg on the top, peg on the bottom. And if you work it just slightly, you can kind of get it. The first time you do it, it's a little tricky, but I'll try and do this without peg, because I'm really scared of breaking off one of these pegs. But you'll see there, the holes are on this side, the pegs are on this side, and they line up to the antenna. So there's a right and left. You really can't mess that up. But you got to take that off. And then we've got to take this other side off. Let's see if we can do it. And all the time I'm trying not to put any undue pressure on anything that shouldn't be. But let's see if we can pop this guy off of here. And with the visor getting in the way, it can be a little tricky. But we're going to do it. We're going to make it work. There we go. So there's that. And then the instructions say this section, the lower jaw just drops down. I'm trying my best not to grab an antenna here. This should just pop right on. There it goes. Okay. So there we go. So that separates, and then it's got foam padding on the inside, foam padding on the front where it would contact the face. We've got that. And then what you'll see is there's a guide on the bottom here, and there's a slot on the bottom here, and then there's two, let's see if I can do this, little snaps, I guess, if you will, right here, more of guides that go on the inside of the helmet there. So just be very careful. Obviously, these parts are going to be the ones that break. These are metal antenna, but at the same time, it's just not something you want to risk breaking. Now, getting out the tech himself is gorgeous. I like him much better with the goggles on. We'll test that on a little bit. Again, I got to heat the goggles up, but this is, when I first saw it, the promo photos way back, I thought it looked like a Jean-Claude Van Damme. That's kind of what I saw, or a Jason Statham kind of deal. That was kind of the vibe I was getting, because they took the animated to, lifelike. And so I think by adding the goggles on there and then adding the helmet on there, I can kind of push it more towards the Star Wars universe and get that vision out of my head. But I think it's a pretty good sculpt all the way around. And I think they did a fine job. I don't really have any issues with it. There is a seam line. I don't know if you guys can see how the light's playing on this. There's a seam line goes all the way across the top, which is nothing new. We've seen that before. But on every angle, it looks like it's supposed to look like, from a animated version to a lifelike version. I think it looks fine. The armor is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I mean, look at all this stuff. We've got the red stripe that carries through, again, via the helmet and the backpack. And we've got these darker gray areas, lighter gray, this wash going on everywhere. Pouches here, which are sculpted. And it just looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. It's got the Clone Force 99 symbol on the shoulder armor, which are on elastic bands. And then you've got this section here with this red stripe going all the way down his right arm and his left arm. You got to get these lined up. It can get a little out of alignment, which posing, I don't think you'd really notice. But in nice, look at all the weathering and damage and scratches and everything going on here. It is gorgeous. And then on his right arm, you've got this little trick where you can flip this open. And he's got a little data pad thing going on there, which is pretty neat. Be careful not to break that. I like this. All the armor is loose. That's on a ratchet or elastic band there. All this is loose, so you should be able to maneuver it out of the way to get poses you want to get like that. And I'm being extra careful not to break these things, like I said earlier. Love this, man. We're going to have a double bend on the elbow on a ratchet. I don't know if you can get this to bend here. Well, I always want to be a little tight. That's really tight. Why is that so tight? There. Wow. That was tight. Crazy. There we go. I think it was cold. It just needs to be warmed up a little bit. But double bend here, it is on a ratchet, so you got to be careful. It's a soft ratchet, but it is there. So double bend there. Looks great all the way around. No ratchet in the shoulders. They appear to be pretty free-flowing, so you can go out pretty high. I'm sure we can rotate this guy around as much as we want. Butterfly joint, but it's going to hit the armor, so you don't have to worry about that. Let's see about the knees. Again, a ratchet on the knee, but there is a double bend there, so we can like that. And no ratchet there on the split. Ratchet going forward on the hip, so there's that. As far as the rest of the armor goes, I know I bounced around on accessory on the articulation there, but that's okay. This pants is, I mean, the undersuit is just a solid black. We got the ribbed black upper shirt like we've seen before with other clones. But it's just a black pant. And then this like rib down here on the boot section. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Sculpted materials going on here on the shins. They're different on each side. I mean, good character design. Here's your back. Look at that. Character design, A+. A freaking plus. Plenty of range of motion here. Yeah. Well, maybe slightly. We'll see how that plays out. The backpack. Boom. Look at that. There we go. So I'm definitely going to be rocking a backpack. There's no way I don't. Because I have it on all the other figures. I think that looks fantastic. But I think what I'm really interested to see is what he looks like in the different modes of unhelmeted and goggled and helmeted. So let's check it out. And here we go. We've got Tech standing here looking all kinds of awesome. Just a cool design and character, honestly. Balancing's a little bit of a challenge with the backpack. So be careful with that. Don't want to fall backwards. And I didn't really want to use the stand. So he's slightly leaning forward on the ankles, but not enough to where I don't guess you would really notice. But he's balanced. But it did take a second to get him there. Clearly, when we got other poses going on, we'll have to be careful of that. Because him falling over and breaking an antenna would be the worst thing to happen. as we've had plenty of other broken figures here lately. But look at the detail of this guy just standing here doing literally nothing. It looks good. All the little character design pieces, all this little, like the boot design with all the little packets and pouches and all the gear he's got to have goes up to the thigh where he's got one, I'm guessing that's a flashlight. And then we've got the other tools and everything going on his left thigh. And those are looking good, even though I guess they're slightly blocked by the hand for the moment. Hey, look, there they are. And then it goes up the backpack, tons of detail, and just a cool character design all the way up to the helmet. And I do think I prefer the helmeted look for this guy, but we'll see when it gets, we got to do some poses with this guy, but I don't know. It's just a cool helmet. I need to 3D print me one for life size to go with my others that I've got and add it to the collection, but big fan of this guy. Overall, looking pretty good. Didn't really have any issues other than just being careful balancing him right off the bat. Don't want to break him before we get into posing. That would be a bummer. Speaking of posing, we should bring out the brothers. Let's do it. So what are we thinking about the head sculpt with the goggles on? What do you guys think? The helmet, I think, is freaking awesome, other than having to take it apart and put it together. I'm not a big fan of that. Would have preferred, honestly, just a separate helmet with a head inside of it and just peg on, peg off, be done with it. That would have been way simpler. But they didn't do that. So, fine. Maybe that would have been a problem because he couldn't have been holding the helmet if it had eyes in it. That might be creepy. So, I don't know. Give us more I don't know. Whatever. I think this is definitely a solid figure. I love that the paint application on it is lighter and kind of stands out from the other Clone Force 99 guys. So I dig that. He's definitely got all the gadgets and everything. I'm still trying to figure out why on earth, and I have this tablet thing has a D-ring on the back. I no idea. No idea. But it does. So there's that. But I think the head sculpt's pretty freaking good. Honestly, it's good. But I think the goggles make it better. I'll give you guys some different angles. I just think here's the helmet. I don't know. I'm a fan of it with the goggles on versus the goggles off. That's what I'm trying to say in this minute-long clip. Backpack's freaking awesome. Him falling over due to the weight of the backpack is not awesome. But, there we go. Let's pause it there. All right, so we got this angle. I mean, you can see the eyes in there. It's got tons of detail. Yeah, I think it's good. But I definitely think at this moment, I'll be rocking the helmet. So we'll see. I don't know. Let's do some more poses. And here we go. We got our Bad Batch grouped up together and looking all kinds of awesome. In case you've got yours lit like this, it would look cool as a silhouette, I think. But I guess we probably should turn some lights on, and we'll go ahead and make that go. These guys look great together. Finally, we got them all together. Now, I will tell you, posing them with the helmets is a challenge all side by side, specifically tech, because I just don't want to drop that helmet with the antennas on it. It would be very, very, very bad, and I may or may not have dropped it on the floor. But it didn't break, so I'm good. Got lucky. But this is it. I don't know how I'm going to end up posing mine just yet. We'll see. But it's nice to have Clone Force 99 together. So if you have yours, I mean, this is what they're going to look like. Now, one thing I noticed, and I don't think I noticed this before, but Crossfire his head sculpt looks just more plasticky to me than when he's sitting right next to Wrecker. Wrecker's just a freaking beast. What an awesome figure. And then he got more shine on his head. I'll put it that way. There's Hunter, and then obviously we got Tech. Looking all kinds of good back there. So I guess you could focus on there. That'd be great. So there's Tech, and then Echo. Echo is probably still one of the best figures from the set, honestly, just because he's a cool design and the character is awesome. But our group here together looking pretty good. So I'm pretty stoked to have them together. Yeah, finally. So I think it's a good set. Now, of the 5, do you have a favorite? Let me know in the comment section down below. Tech definitely stands out with the lighter armor. No doubt about that. You've got Hunter with the commando armor, the clone commando armor. You know, Echo with the red red and black comma. That looks sick. I mean, they all look great. They definitely have their own little personalities going on with them. But if you had a favorite, which one would it be? Let me know in the comments. Let's do a pose. All right, so I went and grabbed a diorama piece that I've had for a few years. It's been in storage, and I figured, hey, this would be a good time to bring it out. Why not? Maybe I'll use it in some other stuff, some photos for Instagram or whatever. And we threw tech up there. And I do think I'm going to rock the helmet. I do think I'm going to do that. We'll see. Maybe one day when you guys see my collection room tour, you'll see how it ends up being. But for right now, I think dual wielding is a pretty good option. I kind of dig it. Yeah, I think it works. Dual wielding. Now, I will tell you, you absolutely have to heat up the hands to get those pistol blasters in the hands. There's no way around it. I had to heat mine up quite a bit. And honestly, you got to do it. Just one of them things. But I'm super happy he's here. Stay tuned. I got so many videos piled up, or figures piled up for videos. Stay tuned. I'll do some posing, or maybe I'll do on an Instagram reel or something with a bunch of different poses of this guy in the near future. But right now, I'm just happy to have him here. He's been here for a month or so, and I needed to open him up. And anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. We've got Joker 4-pack video, Batman from Flash, Keaton Batman. We got anyways, pile of stuff. Stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already done that. And what do you guys think of tech? Are you happy to have him? Do you already have him, or don't you? Which one's the best Bad Batch member? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, click what you like. See you next time.